Yeah, this is just last word, I hope, from me at least, on the Will Smith affair, which is a good title, by the way. The Will Smith affair. Hollywood should make a movie with this title, The Will Smith Affair. This is a little thing, a little funny thing, perhaps. I think it's a little bit funny, the thing that I'm going to say, because it's going to expose some other things that also are of interest. What would have happened to the media coverage of this affair, of this situation, if Chris Rock had lost his balance and actually had fallen to the ground, to the floor? What if he had just lost his balance in a short temporary shock? He just lost his balance and fell to the floor. That could easily have happened because, as I've said, this was not a slap. It was a violent attack. It was a blow. It was a real hard smack. It was practically more than a smack too. It was an attack. It was a blow. Even if it was with an open, flat hand, it was a blow. It was a violent attack. At least it was not a slap. So, what would have happened to the Oscars that night if Chris Rock had lost his balance and had fallen to the floor? It would have been a completely different story, a completely different reaction from exactly the same blow, from exactly the same disturbing attack that Will Smith was responsible for. It was a disgusting act. It was a disgusting attack, and the face of Will Smith after he had done it, like a little boy who had scored some point in some selfish operation somewhere, very happy with himself to finally having stood up, having stood up to a woman who cannot take a joke. What a hero! I am a man who stands up for women who cannot take a joke. That's my mission in this world. My God in the heavens, He asks of me to be my best, to take a stand for all those women who cannot take a joke. You know? It is pathetic. It's stupid. What would have happened to the media coverage and to the Oscars itself if Chris Rock actually had fallen to the floor? Because he just lost his balance, which easily could have happened. And the little finger or the thumb, let's say the little finger or any kind of finger on Will Smith's hand, would have touched his eyeball, one of his eyeballs, so that he had difficulty seeing. He fell to the ground and he practically couldn't see on one of his eyes from exactly the same blow, from exactly the same attack. What would have happened to the media coverage? Would the media have been allowed to call it a slap? The same attack, the same gesture, the exactly the same physical attack that Will Smith did. But it was just a little bit different result. Chris Rock would have fallen to the floor because he lost his balance. And he had to cover one of his eyes because he couldn't see. And it watered from the injury to the eyeball. You know, Chris Rock had a wonderful reaction to the whole thing, to the whole affair, to the Will Smith affair. And he deserves all the credit in the world for it. To be such a gentleman and to be such a nice person about it. That takes strength, a lot more strength than it takes to be a coward who walks up on stage and performs a violent attack on someone who made a joke to a person who is not able to take a joke. Anyway, let's say that Chris Rock is falling to the floor. What would happen to the Oscars? What would happen to Will Smith? Would he been taken out of the Oscars? Would he have been arrested? Would it be an immediate reaction to his Oscar nomination? Would it been done so that he had to give back his Oscar? Would it be a withdrawal of his Oscar? Simply because the result was a little bit different. The action, what he did, it was exactly the same thing. I'm saying this simply because it looked horrible. It was a disgusting thing. It was a disturbing thing. And any person who does this in this setting that the Oscars was is a person who actually deserves a public scrutiny, public analysis. So there's nothing here in this little talk that should not be allowed to be reflected upon. The media wouldn't be able to call this a slap if Chris Rock had actually lost his balance and fallen to the floor. The physical assault, the attack that Will Smith did, would be labeled and characterized in the proper way as a physical attack, as a violent attack, completely out of proportions for the situation, completely out of proportion. He could have mentioned it in his speech. I'm sorry, Chris, but we didn't like your joke. My wife is very sensitive about this. She didn't like that. Actually, we were a little bit sad and hurt by your comment. You know, that's possible to say. No one's getting hurt by that. But no, he had to do what he felt that he had to do. Protect the honor of a woman who cannot take a joke. Because of an autoimmune disease that is not serious compared to what a lot of people in this world suffer from. Children with leukemia, people with bone cancer, people with tumors in their heads, people with cancer, stroke patients. People are fighting for their lives in a way. This autoimmune disease of alopecia, to lose your hair, a lot of people suffer from it, and it's not life-threatening. It's going to make you look more beautiful, more clean, more high class. That's all. To some, this autoimmune disease is very becoming. But never mind about that. If it hurts to someone to be exposed to a joke about it, okay, that's a hurt then. And they are free to express that. But there's nothing that can justify or excuse a behavior that Will Smith did. And the reason why we talk about it, the reason why it's important to talk about it, is because we have to look inside the psychological makeup of Americans, of Hollywood people, of movie stars, of any kind of star who has to become a product, where the self is a product, and their life's work is to protect and modify the self that is a success, because it's a particular self that has become a success. The self as a product that we will defend, even with violence at times. Anyway, it was just a reflection. If the outcome would have been different, let's say Chris Rock lost his balance and fell to the floor, it would have been a completely different story, and it would have been portrayed and reported by the media in a more truthful way, because it was not a slap. It was not a slap at the Oscars. It was a violent attack out of proportion. Okay, thank you.